Hi, I'm Noreen Kavanaugh, and I have the delightful pleasure of working with Mrs. Vianne Campbell at the St. Joseph's Food Pantry and Harvest of Hope in Salem, Massachusetts. I'm working with them to help with raising money and doing fundraising, grant writing, and event planning. And this morning, Vianne is with me as well. Vianne?
Hello, I'm glad to meet you. I'm very happy to be here with Noreen, and I'm delighted to be able to speak to all of you once again.
Well, we're here this morning because we have some very exciting things that are happening at the pantry. And the major thing is that we're doing a great move. It's going to be from one side of Salem to the other side of Salem. And Vianne, would you like to talk a little bit about that move and talk about what's happening with that?
Yes, I would. We're moving to 13 Franklin Street in Salem. It's at the end of the North Street overpass. It is 3 times the size of our former location. And it is a place where we can pack thousands of bags. We can have more food, more freezers, more refrigerators, and serve all the people that we're serving monthly now. And we're really delighted with the space. We'll be opening on September 7th.
Okay. I'm very excited about it. The space is great. As Vianne said, it's 3 times the size that we have now. And one of the challenges that we're looking at, however, when something like this happens, and I'm sure that anybody will know who's moved from one house to another or one apartment to another, what happens with the move. There's always a cost incurred. And that's what we're here to talk with you about this morning. And one of the things that I'd like to share with you is that the pantry continues to be committed to serve the large numbers of people. The good news is that business is really growing. And at the same time, that is also the bad news, because in an economy that is failing us all around, what we're finding is that more and more people are coming in on a daily basis. You want to talk a little bit about that, Vianne, and talk about how many people the pantry serves?
Yes, I do. It's kind of phenomenal. St. Joseph's Food Pantry went from serving 40 families a month 10 years ago to 4,000 families. And within that 4,000 families are 3,000 children that we're serving monthly with food and many other programs. We offer 16 different programs throughout the year. And we have several programs. North Shore Moving Market is a food-oriented program for the North Shore, for the elderly and disabled. And we have children's programs, and very shortly we're going to be doing our holiday meals.
Well, I know that one of the things that you mentioned is that you do the moving market, and I know that that serves elderly. It also serves people who are disabled. It also serves families who are not able to get to the pantry. That's my understanding, and that is, I think, just a phenomenal program that you folks do, that we do, because now I'm working with you, and I'm very, very, very pleased to be able to be doing this work with you and helping you with all of these efforts that you're making. And one of the things that I'm aware of, and I wanted to get back to, is the fact that a move like this is so costly. We have been very fortunate in terms of the move to have a lot of support from the community, and what we're looking at is working at getting more community people involved with this move. And also the thing that we're looking at is to get cash donations. And as we look at getting cash donations, it's very important for everybody who's listening to know that no donation is too small. We'll accept $1, we'll accept $5. Of course, a $500 check or a $5,000 check would be fantastic as well. And one of the things that I'd like to do is just talk a little bit and have Vianne talk a little bit about where some of that money is going to go. Vianne, you want to just talk a little bit about that and talk about where that money will be going?
Yes, I do. With a move, there is always some kind of renovation. Even if you're going into a home, you have to fix a closet, you have to do this or that. There are different things to do in the building to prepare for our offices. We are moving in on September 7th for the food pantry portion of our business, our nonprofit. But we also are doing renovations all the time to both sides, and that can be expensive. And there's the expense of moving itself and operating it. There's a little more expense to this than what we have previously dealt with, because we do have a small lease, a very reasonable lease, and we do have some utilities to pay, which we didn't before. So these are new expenses. And of course, the renovations, we're doing the most we can to be frugal. We're not people who spend money easily, but some supplies to do things. We have a lot of volunteers doing work for us, and that is great. That is very positive for us. But we need some extra funding to see us through this transition.
Well, Vianne is putting that very softly spoken in terms of some funding. And I have to chuckle as she says we don't have a lot of money to spend. Of course, in terms of feeding the more than 4,000 families on a monthly basis, there's a high cost to that. One of the things that I'd like to say is that in terms of this huge move, and it is a huge move because the space is 3 times the size, one of the things also that I'd like to say is that this facility that we are moving into was a former woodworking facility. It was, I believe they made furniture there. So the whole area has been gutted, it's been cleaned out, it's been painted, has to be completely refurbished. And when Vianne talks about a little bit of money, I think of it as a lot of money. And one of the things that I'd like to say is that the funding that we're looking for is close to $200,000, close to $250,000, basically.
Yes.
And in terms of that, those kinds of funds that we're looking for, it's coming in lots of different forms, if you will. It's coming from donations from people who are helping. It's coming from donations from people who are donating paint. It's coming from donations from people who are doing all sorts of things for the food pantry. But the thing is that you can never get enough of those kinds of items in kind, if you will, or the products that are needed. There are just some times when you need to go out with money in your hand and buy what is needed. And so that's what we're looking for from everybody who's talking today. We're looking for that extra cash that is needed to be able to facilitate what needs to be done on a committed basis. So Vianne, I know that you feel very strongly. You've been the director, a volunteer director for the past 11 years. And in closing, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Yes, I would like to say that your contribution, your help is really important. And you can call us at 978-979-9915 or send us a check to St. Joseph's Food Pantry, P.O. Box 876, Salem, Mass. 01970. Thank you.